Hi there, Annalena here. I want to make a video about the most sacred heart of Jesus Christ. The most sacred heart of Jesus Christ. How can it be that He is able to forgive us the way He is? Well, He knows our story. He knows everything that has happened to us, every single thing that has happened to us in our lives. He knows the reason why we became the way we became, why we fear, why we are feeling rejected. He knows where our arrogance comes from. He knows everything about us, and He understands it, and He feels compassion for us because we've lost our ways. So because He knows that, He's able to forgive it if we are willing to change our ways and seek Him. And that's a sacred heart. That's His most sacred heart. And He loves us. He will show us mercy if we change our ways and go to Him. He knows where our control patterns come from. And if we're willing to let that go and let His heart come into our hearts, then He can live in our hearts. His love and His compassion can live in our hearts. So some of the most powerful testimonies that I hear are people who have been involved in really serious crimes and have done really awful things to other human beings, and they meet Christ and they share how they are forgiven. There is one testimony. He is a Muslim man, and he grew up hating Jews, and he shares his story. He had never met a Jew in his life, but he grows up and he hates them because he's been indoctrinated with that hatred from he was little. God knows this. He knows how that little boy was indoctrinated. God sees that little boy who was indoctrinated with that kind of hatred. So He understands it and He has great compassion for it. Now this man, when he shares his story, it's just so beautiful. Of course, it's deeply tragic because he was part of a hanging squad, and he believed, he was absolutely sure he was doing God's work, hanging people who were not of the same faith as him. And then he goes to jail, and then Jesus comes to him. He's a Muslim man, so he doesn't know Jesus, but he understands that he's a holy man, and he asks him, who are you? And Jesus says, I'm Jesus. And Jesus says, I forgive you. And in that moment, that man's life is changed forever. I will see if I can find this man's testimony, and I'll leave a link in the commentary field below this video. And it's just, that's why Jesus, He doesn't want our worst tormentors to perish. He doesn't. He understands where their pain came from. He understands how they turn out the way they became, how they became bullies, narcissists, abusers. That does not excuse their behavior. And but we as human beings, we are not here to judge. That's God's job. But Jesus Christ and his heart, he shows compassion and mercy if we turn to him. There was another guy that I watched his testimony, and it was 3 hours long, and it was like in an interview with another man. And those 3 hours, they just went so quickly, I couldn't believe it. His name is James Kawala. I'm not pronouncing his surname correctly, but his story, how he was almost born into a life filled with demons. I'm not going to go into his story other than that it's the most crazy testimony I have ever heard. And if we think our life has been crazy hard, you should listen to this guy's testimony. So I'll find the link to his story and I will leave it in the commentary field below this video. The most sacred heart of Jesus Christ is full of the kind of love that you will find nowhere else on this planet. You won't find it at work. You won't find it among your fellow human beings. Although some of us are being trained. Jesus Christ, he knows everything about us. And that's why he loves us. And that's why he's willing to forgive us if we turn to him. Turn to him with everything that you are. Everything that you are. He's beautiful beyond imagination. He's merciful beyond imagination. And he can forgive us for our sins. And I love him with all my heart and my soul. And I thank him every day. May God bless you.